Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. So this is one of those points, and this happens from time to time, where essentially there's that sort of space between any sorts of major new releases from any sorts of major establishments, and in this sort of more quiet span, I'm more inclined to essentially just, if there's anything that I'm personally interested in, or that I might find, of interest or have a curiosity, and I might give it a shot. So this is sort of, I don't want to call it a comparative analysis, but it is something that I was thinking about. I actually did get a few requests for it, and I thought it would be interesting anyway, especially with two things. Number one, most importantly, of course, are there any major differences? But number two, the factor of consistency, and that's something that I'll get to in a moment. So McDonald's, and for those of you who are regular viewers, you already know this, they have recently released a lineup of chicken sandwiches, particularly the Cajun, or the Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy chicken sandwiches. A few days ago, I tried out the deluxe McCrispy chicken sandwich, and I thought it was actually pretty good. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and I was actually very impressed by it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be, and again, it was just something that was a very pleasant surprise. In addition to the deluxe sandwich, though, they've heavily been promoting the non-deluxe, just the regular McCrispy chicken sandwich as well. And again, since things have been pretty quiet, I thought, why not? Let's try it out, see how good it is, and how, if at all, it compares to the deluxe McCrispy chicken sandwich. So today I'll be reviewing the Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy sandwich. It's available at the price of anywhere between $6 and $8. I paid around $6 for this sandwich. And here's what's on it. It features a Southern-style chicken fillet, applewood smoked bacon, pickles, and then on the top and bottom bun, it features a creamy Cajun ranch sauce. And again, the difference between this sandwich and the deluxe is that the deluxe sandwich also comes with lettuce and tomato, so it's more of a complete chicken sandwich, whereas this one just has the pickles, the bacon, the sauce, and the chicken, so it doesn't have as many toppings and features. I just thought, well, it'd be interesting to see how it compares, but here's the thing, though, as well, consistency. The last one that I got was really good, and I was impressed by the freshness and the fact that it actually resembled the ad, and the Southern-style chicken fillet quite resembled the original Southern-style chicken sandwich that McDonald's had a good number of years ago. So being that the original, being that the deluxe sandwich was quite good, I'm interested in seeing, okay, since the components are the same, essentially, technically speaking, this should also be pretty decent, but it's going to be interesting to try out. I'm just personally curious. They're really promoting both sandwiches. Again, I got a few requests to try them out, so I thought, what the heck. Let's make this a pretty standard, straightforward review. Plus, some people were wondering. They're saying, I don't really want to get it with the lettuce and tomato, so how does it taste without it? So I thought, what the heck. Got it right here. Again, between $6 and $8. And I really enjoyed the deluxe one for reference, so. Comes in this little pouch, flavors to love. It's interesting, the last one came in a box. I don't know if that's just a matter of availability or what. But this comes more in like the standard chicken sandwich, pouch that a lot of places serve them in. Okay, so here it is. I could see the sauce and the pickle right there. This is more like a standard, I guess, chicken sandwich. Some of the bacon strips, the chicken fillet. And as the name implies, that ranch sauce is supposed to have a bit of spice to it. There isn't any sauce on the bottom bun this time. There's supposed to be, but I guess they didn't bother. There's the top bun. You can see the pickles and again the bacon strip. I don't know how well it's in focus, but I'd wager you can see it. And again, just a little assessment just to see how good this one is. Really liked the last one, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one tastes. The Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy sandwich from McDonald's. It's going in. So if you were sitting here and you were essentially thinking to yourself, boy, his bites look stupider than they even normally do, why exactly is that? There is a reason this time around. And it's not a good reason either. By that, I wish I could just say, oh, it's just the way that it is. So, it's disappointing, and it's tough, and I'm just going to have to try to say it to the best of my ability, as it is. Essentially, as I was eating this sandwich, I immediately noticed a difference in the chicken fillet. The last one that I had, the deluxe, that is, was solid. The chicken was the star of the show. That was the highlight. And what really impressed me with it was the fact that the chicken was tender, it was juicy, it was flavorful, but most importantly, it tasted exactly like the Southern-style chicken sandwich that they had probably back in 2010 or so. Now, you would think, well, the components are the same, right? This is the same sandwich, sans lettuce and tomato. So, technically speaking, it should be just as good, right? I was optimistic. I thought, well, I know what the base already tastes like, so I'm in for a treat. I thought, okay, maybe the ranch isn't on the top and bottom bun like they said it was going to be, but so what? It's still on the sandwich. That's not too big of a deal. This stuff happens, right? It's not a cause for concern, essentially. And then I take a bite. I've had this problem before. I've run into it so often. And it's going to tie into a point that I need to establish, both about these reviews, but fast food as a whole. I take a bite, and the chicken quality is immediately subpar. In the last review, I was able to bite into it, and it was fine. Again, tender, it was juicy, it was flavorful. I take a bite into this, and it's tough. I have to rip it apart, essentially. I'm pulling at it, and it's a sort of tearing apart. It's dry. It's essentially overcooked. And while there are those elements still of that Southern-style chicken fillet, the quality of the chicken itself is far, far lower than what I experienced in the last review. Even if the base is the same, the quality of this chicken, is it acceptable? I couldn't even call it that. Is it edible, though? I.e., if I were forced, through one means or another, you have to eat this, could I? Yeah. But is it something that one should find acceptable? Let me go fork over $6 for this. I wouldn't find that acceptable. To have some chicken fillet that you have to just rip apart and gnaw at, and the only source of moisture in this time around, is in that ranch sauce. That's not good. You know, the thing that really made the last sandwich was the base. The thing that really made it a good sandwich, that the reason why it got that 8.5 out of 10 rating was that Southern style chicken fillet. This is an item that hinges on a certain ingredient and the quality thereof to be a success or a failure. And if that Southern style chicken fillet is good, I could assuredly say that the quality of the sandwich, therefore, is going to be good. But if the quality is subpar, which it is in this case, I would be willing to say that it was overcooked, unfortunately. And I've had this problem before. I've had it with McDonald's. I've had it with Wendy's. I've had it with Burger King, etc. Then that is going to directly correlate to whether or not this is even worth the time of day on or not. And that leads me to another point. Because in this case, the chicken was subpar. It wasn't enjoyable. Yeah, I could taste the bacon. Bacon was all right. The pickles were okay. And the ranch sauce was pleasant. There's a nice lasting spice to it. If the chicken were better, this would be a decent sandwich overall. And in your case, maybe it will be better. But here's the thing. When I do these reviews, I have to take consistency into account. And the thing about it is obviously, well, how can you necessarily predict consistency? You can't. As a result, I have to just make an assessment based on what I get. Because otherwise, there's no point in really doing a review if, well, all right, I'm just going to go now to another one and then another one until I get a desirable result. Then what's the point in even doing a review if I'm just going to sit there and try to cherry pick things until I get a good outcome? There's no point to that. So when I do these videos, I essentially will review whatever it is that I get, and that's absolute. That's where things stand. But that leaves me to one more thing, the consistency issue itself. Truth be told, yes, there's always going to be mistakes. There's always going to be screw-ups. There's always going to be these times where things go awry. And that's understandable. That's just the way that it is. But I do notice it happen more and more and more. Where you can go to McDonald's one day, and this goes for any chain, not just McDonald's, pretty much any fast food chain. And you go there one day, you get this sandwich, and it's great. It's excellent. You think, wow, this is really good. I'm going to add it to my repertoire. I'm going to go and I'm going to get it again. And sure enough, let's say a week passes, you decide to go over to McDonald's, get the same sandwich, and now there's some issue with the chicken fillet, and it's abysmally bad. And this is happening more and more, I've noticed. Yeah, it's fast food. It's always happened, but I happen to notice this, and I see people noticing it as well, bringing this issue up more and more frequently, that the consistency is getting worse and worse and worse, to the point now where the variability from even one visit to the next, when it's the exact same item, is now getting so great that nothing is guaranteed at this point. And this, I think, is a good example of it, sadly, where it shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't. And it's such a shame that you have this base, and you can't even count on it to be any good at this point. It should be. When I got it last week, this sandwich was excellent. And now this time I get it, the chicken is horrible. And it's just a reflection, I think, of the state of the fast food industry. A lot of people have raised this problem, and I'm going to raise it again. Consistency is key, and that is sorely lacking at this point right now. Very much so. Mistakes happen, I understand that, but when it's so frequent that from one time to the next you can't even guarantee quality when it should be, it's no wonder. It's no wonder fewer and fewer people are even giving fast food a light of day. Why should they? Really, why should they? That's a serious problem that these fast food companies themselves need to address. They need to look at it. They need to think about it. But it's getting worse, in my opinion. Reviewing what I got, this sandwich, I'm just going to have to give the regular sandwich here, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10, given the abysmal quality of the chicken. If you go there and it's better, then this would probably be an 8.5 out of 10 sandwich. But because of the consistency or utter lack thereof, that's why I have to rate what I got, the rating that it has. These chains really need to sort this out, though. It's getting worse. That's all that I have for you. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.